Thank you. So our mission is to ensure that all District 118 students reach their fullest potential.
Thank you very much. Call Miss Robinson.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much. The next item is the consent agenda.
Do I need to do this one?
Consent agenda, can I make a
Wait a minute, we
motion?
need to do discipline.
this
We're
first.
gonna
one?
do
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
discipline prior to that. Thank you so much.
Madam President, I recommend approval to uphold the finding of the board in discipline case number 26-22-16, 26-22-27, and 26-22-38.
Can I have a motion, please?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Mr. Eason?
Yes.
Dr. Holland?
Yes.
Mrs. Gordon?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Pound?
Yes.
Mr. Warfield?
Yes.
Mrs. Tallman?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much. At this time now, we'll talk about the consent agenda.
Madam President, I make a motion to amend tonight's agenda. Item 15C, I'd like to remove administrative contract recommendation. I just need a second.
Second.
Thank you. What? Oh,
That one as well. We're going to do that one.
do we need to vote on this first one first?
Oh, you can do it either way. You can do both.
We can do both, okay. The second change in the agenda is item number,
14.
yes, item number 14 states will approve 9 new extracurricular clubs and activities. Actually, the number is 11. It isn't 11 new necessarily, but that's changing that agenda. So, can I please have a motion for those?
Motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote.
Mrs. Gordon?
Yes.
Mrs. Pound?
Yes.
Mr. Eason?
Yes.
Mr. Warfield?
Yes.
Dr. Holland?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
And Mrs. Tallman?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Human resources? Is that part of, that's,
Oh, that's in
that's part of the consent, that's all part of the consent, okay. Okay, at this time, we will entertain any public comments.
Jacob Brett?
Don't worry, I don't need 5 minutes. First, wanted to make sure everyone is aware there is a trunk or treat hosted by the DHS Student Council this Saturday in the student parking lot from 2 to 4, or as I would say, 2 until the candy runs out. So maybe get there early. Also, wanted to publicly recognize and thank Dr. Halloran, First Sergeant Powell, First Sergeant Collier, the JROTC cadets at Damo High School, and did any botany students help out, Dr. Halloran? I don't want to leave them out. They
We
did.
had a big crowd.
Big crowd, maybe some botany students. Over fall break, they planted around 200 trees, roughly 200 trees on the DHS campus, both the main campus and the practice field area. When I came to work Monday, I thought the placement of the trees was great. I look forward to one day walking out of DHS and not looking at the backs of the businesses on Vermilion. No offense to them, but I think the trees will look nicer. And then later that week, they planted around 150 trees on DAC's campus as well. So I wanted to publicly thank and recognize our JROTC teachers, cadets, and Dr. Halloran. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alan Rivers?
Good evening, board. Mr. Hart. Good evening. Administrators. The reason I'm here, well, let me introduce myself. I know you guys know who I am. and I'm Alan Rivers, I'm the DEA president. I want to talk to you a little bit about our insurance. So this year, we got our renewal back. It's 28.2%. It's $2.4 million. Now, we went out, our new broker, just like our last broker, always goes out and tries to get quotes. We only technically got one quote back, and that was from Blue Cross. Everyone else denied to quote us. One person, they quoted us so high, we might as well just say they denied to quote us. But the only one we technically got back that was competitive or even close was Blue Cross Blue Shield at $2.4 million. Now, one thing I'd like everybody to keep in mind, here in this district, we have two good benefits. One, board paid retirement, and good and affordable health insurance. And though I do truly appreciate that in 2026 and 2027, we will have a 22% reduction on premiums per the MOA. Any additional help that you guys could give us would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
DeAndre Day.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is DeAndre Day. As you know, I am the home liaison for Danville Northridge Middle School, but I come of it as a different capacity this evening. I serve as the community lead coordinator for the Jelani Day Foundation. Our organization is founded in honor of the life and legacy of my brother Jelani Day, who was a passionate scholar, servant leader, and advocate for justice, and a proud member of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Jelani believed in the power of education and transformed lives through his work. We continue that mission today. On Thursday, November 6, 2025, at Danville High School in the Fieldhouse, we are hosting the Central Illinois HBCU Fair. This event will bring together more than 20 historical Black colleges and universities and other organizations in the city of Danville. It is expected to welcome hundreds of students around Central Illinois, from Danville to Peoria, Champaign, and Bloomington, and also Springfield. But this fair did not just start with us. It began in 2014 with Dr. Katasha Butler, who first brought this vision to Danville, a vision rooted in opportunity, access, and representation. The torch was then carried by two phenomenal Danville natives, Tierra Brown and David Groves, who kept that mission alive and thriving. And now it's passed down to us to continue and elevate that higher into higher heights. Through our continued fight for justice for Jelani, we are fighting to continue his legacy of service, excellence, and empowerment, showing our students here in Danville that education can not only be a dream, but it can truly take you anywhere. We want every student who walks through those doors to see possibilities, to see the reflection of themselves in these institutions that have built generations of leaders. We also encourage all the students who are coming to be prepared with their academic transcripts, as many colleges will be accepting them on site that evening. To gain access to this event, we ask you to go to Eventbrite and type in Central Illinois HBCU Fair to gain access to your ticket. Also, it's a free admission, but you do need to gain your ticket. That keeps a quota for us and a track of who's attending that event. This fair is more than an event, it's an opportunity for transformation. We invest in our students, we invest in their strength and the future of our community. So I invite you, the board, our student leaders, city leaders, our businesses, churches, and our families to join us. Come out, support, and stand with us as we continue to create pathways for our students to dream bigger and reach higher and continue to fight for justice for Jelani Day. Thank you.
Could you tell us one more time?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Where online to get the ticket? Can
Yes.
you tell us again?
Eventbrite.com, and then you will type in
okay.
the search engine Central Illinois HBCU Fair.
Okay, thank you.
Could you give us the date
said third.
again of the fair?
Thursday, November 6th.
6th.
It's from 4:30 to 7.
Thank you.
There's a QR code to register on the weekly DHS announcements that get posted on Facebook every week. They were actually posted at either Sunday or Monday, and they'll be posted again leading up to the event.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Well, thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Narcissus Rankin.
Good evening. I am Narcissus Rankin. I know that transparency is important to this board. So in the interest of truth and transparency, I would like to address the concerns that was raised in the letter that I received from Mr. Hart on October 16th. Late payments regarding the TRS fees. These were directly related to the 2023 update involving Skyward and the TRS Gemini system. If the board had reviewed the full correspondence from TRS, they would have seen that our focus at the time, based on TRS's direction, was to prioritize uploading all required system files. TRS clearly communicated that late fees could be waived once the system was fully updated. Unfortunately, we were unaware of this waiver process until the first set of fees had already been processed. Once the necessary uploads were complete, TRS did in fact waive outstanding fees. Financial controls regarding the use of Dr. Geddes' personal credit card. This occurred due to a vendor's refusal to accept a purchase order and a lack of available credit on the district-issued cards. The former Board of Education was fully informed and aware of this situation. I have written documentation from 4 former board members acknowledging their knowledge and approval of this temporary workaround. In addition to the documentation from former board members, it should be noted that a director-level administrator was present in closed session when the board unanimously granted Dr. Geddes permission to use her personal credit card. 3 of those board members are here this evening. During the September 19th meeting, Attorney Jones suggested that it was my duty to alert the board. However, per Board of Ed Policy 330 regarding chain of command, I reported directly to the superintendent and I consistently acted in accordance with that structure. To insinuate that I don't understand my fiduciary duty is not only incorrect, it is a direct attack on my professionalism and integrity as a certified school business official. Management of the business office. This is the most surprising and disappointing allegation. Prior to the letter from Mr. Hart, there was no documented conversations with me from administration concerning excessive breaks, personal business being conducted during work hours, or general mismanagement of the department. The only concerns previously raised involved interpersonal disagreements among staff, which I addressed directly. As for overtime costs, the only guidance I received was in a cabinet meeting from Mr. Hart, after which I relayed expectations to my team. Later, when a staff member raised concerns about overtime being restricted, I followed up directly with Mr. Hart and was told that overtime remained an option, especially during time-sensitive tasks like payroll processing. The majority of the overtime incurred by the business office occurred during the Skyward financial system upgrade. This was a district-wide effort and included overtime in other departments as well, specifically IT, HR, and the superintendent's office. If overtime expenses are being scrutinized, then that data should be presented in context across all departments, not just mine. During the same period that was investigated for the business office, overtime spent for IT was $80,108. HR was $40,955. The business office was $30,940, and the superintendent's office was $84,368. Moreover, it is concerning that while overtime in the business office is being highlighted, there are employees in the administrative buildings who have been allowed to come in early on a daily basis to boost pay and have been permitted to leave work early using school business time to participate in extracurricular activities that receive stipends. This raises the question of targeting and consistency. As far as the past auditor, at no point did the district's auditors raise concerns with my performance or cooperation. In fact, during their board presentations and formal correspondence, there was no negative references to my fiscal management, communication, or professionalism. To imply otherwise is not only misleading, it is defamatory. What is most troubling about this process is the complete absence of any direct communication regarding my performance. At no time was I approached with concerns, offered feedback, or given the opportunity to improve or respond. No professional growth plan was discussed. No remediation was offered. Had any of these steps occurred, I would have welcomed the chance to collaborate and address any issues in good faith. Instead, I was blindsided publicly and professionally without the courtesy of a conversation. It is difficult not to include that this decision is retaliatory and rooted in my relationship with former Superintendent Dr. Geddes. After the May 23rd meeting where Mr. Hart informed Mrs. Papps and myself of the audit of the finance department, I asked him directly if the board intended to remove me from my position. His response was, well, as long as you're not going on vacation with Dr. G, which he knew I was. He followed that comment with, I'm just kidding, Rankin. I see now that he was not.
April Perkins.
All right, I'm ready. Good evening, Superintendent Hart and the board members of District 118. My name is April Perkins, and I have two sons who are previous students in this district. I know Board Policy 2230 allows me to speak for up to 5 minutes, and I promise to try to stay within that time frame. I have a lot to say. I have my attorney on the phone with me right now. On October 15, 2024, I filed a written complaint with Dr. Jacoby. We did not get a response until June 2nd, 2025. That's almost 8 months after I filed my complaint. According to the Board Policy 2260 on Uniform Grievance Policy, which no one from this district told me about, I needed my lawyer, who's again right here on FaceTime with me, to show me that. It says that complaints are supposed to be investigated and completed within 35 days. That's 2 failures by the district right there. Not having an easy to find complaint process displayed on the district's website and not following the grievance policy. When we did get the response, I was appalled by the failure to adequately address very serious complaints. That's why my family and I are here today, because we feel the need to speak about the numerous ways in which the actions or lack thereof by Danville School District 118 has caused traumatizing distress for my family. Our complaint described a number of things, including bullying, harassment, and other forms of discrimination. Mr. Hart, your letter not only conveys a dismissive tone, but lacks the empathy and the seriousness warranted by the circumstances surrounding our family's suffering. By stating that our experiences are unfounded, you effectively disregard the emotional trauma our family has endured as a direct result of bullying. My son Noah, he started to self-harm due to students telling him to kill himself. His behavior changed, and because of the bullying, he was bullied by several students, on multiple occasions, called derogatory names, punched, kicked, called a black monkey. My son started to disconnect from his peers and learning as a whole due to this extreme bullying. Your letter's dismissiveness fails to recognize the lived experiences our sons and our family, the associated mental health challenges, the critical need for a supportive school environment for students. Not only did your response not address any concerns or complaints we reported to the district, it caused more confusion and distrust in the school district and led us to believe our concerns and complaints were not properly investigated nor taken seriously. What we wanted before we had to retain an attorney, and even after we retained an attorney, was for the individuals who were involved to be held accountable. Specifically, Principal Stacy Sollers, Ms. Coy, and anyone else who had a hand in the matter of our family's negative experiences. At a minimum, the district needs to correct its failures and implement the following actions. 1, we need the district to reevaluate policies when it comes to reporting bullying. Whether it's filed with the official complaint manager or reported to a staff member, because staff members are also accountable for leading parents to the right processes and reporting concerns of this magnitude to the right people. For example, what happens if families don't have access to a computer to print a form, or how will individuals who are visually impaired complete the form? Instead of focusing on whether someone filed or filled out a specific form, you all should be planning on how to respond and focus on the impact of unaddressed bullying. Statistics show a drastic increase of kids trying to unalive themselves, and a lot is related to bullying. Number 2, the need for extensive cultural bias training. It is critically important because staff members need to become more aware of stereotypes and how their biases can have a detrimental effect on diverse children's access to education and the strain that puts on families. 3, please do thorough investigations when parents, particularly Black parents, bring forward concerns and negative experiences we've had in these schools. I did my own quick review and found that in this district, Black boys are 3 times more likely to receive harsher disciplinary actions than their white peers for similar infractions. The Black girls are 5 times more likely to receive harsher punishment than their white peers for similar behaviors. You all are aware of these. And you're aware of this data and are responsible for creating policies and procedures to ensure that all children are treated equitably, and yet you continue to turn a blind eye. This is unacceptable, and is also one reason I decided to go back to school to research and learn how I can advocate and make an impact for all children. I want to believe that majority of the staff means well, and I want to help students, but they may not be, and I know the staff may want to help students, but may not be aware of their own biases when they interact with children and their families. And what you all determine is important or even worth looking into. But it's really hard to believe that any of you care, especially after we tried to collaborate on multiple occasions with everyone from teachers to administration, and nothing has yet to be done. There should be some kind of metric tied to teachers, staff, administrators, evaluations who continuously mistreat and discriminate against children and their families. You all are so concerned with upholding an image instead of addressing real issues within the school system, and that's the problem. Because all of this, it was necessary for us to withdraw our children from Mark Denman Elementary School and start our homeschooling journey. Principal Stollers was instrumental in this decision. Instead of addressing our concerns, she sent home a withdrawal letter so I could homeschool my kids. It seems to be her intention to force us out of these schools. Finally, our family needs to be made whole. Let me be clear, this has never been about money, but after all my family has experienced, including job loss, homeschooling fees, therapy, medical expenses, attorney fees, and emotional impact on all of us, we are due compensation. It is my hope that a proper and thorough investigation be conducted, and that you all finally and truly take accountability and be transparent in the process, no matter how difficult the situation and conversations have to be. Nothing changes if nothing changes, and sometimes it's going to take some hard conversations to spark change. If nothing changes, we don't want any child or family to experience what we have endured in this school district. This is a call for the district to recognize the significant ramifications of its actions or lack thereof on our lives. We demand reassessment of our complaint grounded in empathy and a genuine commitment to students' well-being. Boards of Education.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Out of fairness for others that have their 5 minutes.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. We appreciate very much.
Ryan Kraft.
Good evening, Board. I'm Mary Ellen Button, the Director of Curriculum, and I have tonight Ryan Kraft, Brian Klett, and we're super excited to tell you this evening about Veterans Day, and we will be in school this year for Veterans Day, and that is a purposeful reason for us. We want to make sure that our students understand the importance of Veterans Day, and we want to make sure that everyone knows what we're going to do on that day to educate our students and to celebrate our veterans. And we'll do a presentation after with all the things that we've done. We've got quite a list of things that we've already compiled. Many of our schools are going to be out in the community visiting with our veterans, providing entertainment for them, lunches, celebrations, eating with them, cards, those types of things. We'll also be doing things in our classrooms, but we wanted to really highlight one of our most special things is the Veterans Concert. There's going to be a little bit of a change with that, and so we wanted Mr. Kraft and Mr. Klett to talk to you about that this evening.
Good evening, Board. Thank you so much for hearing us tonight. When the Veterans Concert was conceived many years ago, the goal of that concert was to bring the veterans in and provide an opportunity to celebrate them at DHS. The last several years, that has become a much more challenging thing, not only for our community veterans, but also for the VA. Back in the day when I first got here 11 years ago, the VA was able to bring many veterans to DHS to the concert, and with the population aging, it has become to the point where they're not able to do that. And so been in contact with Travis and Jamie at the VA, and we have worked out to bring the Veterans Concert to them. And so on the 13th, Mr. Womack, Mr. Thomas, and myself are going to take groups of students to the VA. The VA is going to provide a lunch for the veterans, and they're going to allow us to perform for them on the campus of the VA. And so we're really excited to do this. We think it's going to be a great way to continue to do the performance for them, but bring the show to them. They have many more staff members there to help transport the veterans to the I think they call it the activity center. And so we're really excited about that, and we've got some really cool things that we're looking into planning, and we are glad to be able to go and celebrate that special day with them. So as the grandson of a veteran, I know how much it meant to my grandfather to have music at a Veterans Day celebration, and so we wanted to continue that by doing this for our veterans. So thank you.
This is here just in case there are questions.
What time?
It's going to be over lunch. We're going to start. They're going to have the veterans in that activity center about noon, and then they, saying after they get them situated and get the food lined up and give them their lunch, then we'll start playing about 12:15, and then we'll play for around 45 minutes to kind of like a dinner and a show.
Free of charge.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Laura Williams.
Good evening, Board and John. I'm very happy to be here tonight. I wasn't planning on saying anything, but as I was leaving my house, it just hit me. I want to thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank each and every one of you for being willing to put yourselves out there. I know it's not easy. We've heard tough things tonight, and I know it's not going to get any easier. But I thank you for taking your time and being willing to take time away from your profession, your family, your leisure, to input that into our district to try to make it a better place for each and every child. So I truly do thank you for that, and I want each of you to know that I'm praying for you. I know your road's not easy, and I just want you to know that I'm with you. I may have concerns, I may have questions, but it's all in the same spirit of making sure we work together as a team to do what's best for the children. I would like to give a quick update on the community involvement team at Northridge. I think that that's going really well. I do wish that we had more volunteers, so audience members tonight and those listening, I would like to say we would love to have more people involved in that. I'll be the first to admit, before walking into that school, Mr. Gorley, I had kind of really no idea what to expect, but being there an hour or two every week or every couple of weeks has really opened my eyes as to the challenges that they are facing. It's not easy, but I am very happy, but not surprised, but I'm very happy to see that they are more than willing to work with us. So Mr. Gorley, thank you. I know that we've had a few bumps, but we've worked through those. And then also I'd like to thank Ms. Hampton and then the volunteer coordinator that was assigned, Mr. Glennie Watson. He's doing an amazing job, and I'm very happy to continue to keep working with you and give any little piece that we can possibly give to that. Again, I know it's not easy, and I thank you. And Mr. Gorley, you're on our church's prayer list as much as anybody. So just know that we're behind you and we're trying our best to be good stewards and good partners in the community. I would also like to say, they had a carnival a few weeks back that Miss Hampton coordinated and a bunch of the staff participated in that. And we had some students come from Danville High School. I can't remember the names of the group, so I apologize for that, but they were amazing. They were so mature and so willing to help. And when special needs students entered, they were able to communicate, and you could see the kindness and the empathy. And so some great things going on there. So, you know, those two groups that are going to the high school, I wish I could think of their names, but they are doing an amazing job. Final thing I'd like to say is one of the young ladies I engaged that day was talking about, I said, well, how's the cell phone policy working out for you? And she goes, well, I hate to admit it, but I'm actually studying now. And, you know, she started the conversation about how it really has made a difference for her. And so, you know, you have to believe you're seeing less on social media. You know, you're seeing less things. You're not hearing, you know, there's still things going on, but I think it's really helping the students communicate, learn to communicate with each other and with the teachers and the staff. So I think that's a really good thing. And, you know, she's not the only one I've heard positive comments from. So again, just closing, I know your job's not easy. Thank you for your service. Thank you for the administrators and teachers that we're working with. I think you guys are doing a phenomenal job. And again, does that mean things are perfect? It does not, but it means that everyone's showing a willingness to work together, and I appreciate that.
Can I ask also, Sign Up Genius, is that still the way to do it, or do we contact the Northridge to get on
Sign
the?
Up Genius,
Okay.
you can still do that, but Mr. Glennie Watson is in charge at Northridge, and you can contact him. He can give you sign-up information. He has all of the different materials that you need. And all it is going in, you put on a bright orange vest, and you hang out in hallways and see what you can do, or you jump in for special projects if they request special help. So it's an easy job.
Thank you. That's it. Thank you very much. We always appreciate the feedback from the community. It means a lot to us. Appreciate it. I would entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report and recommendation at this time. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions, concerns? A roll call vote, Ms. Keisha.
Pam?
Yes.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Dr. Holland?
Yes.
Mr. Warfield?
I'll abstain.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
And Mrs. Holland?
Yes, the motion carries 6 with 1 abstention. Thank you very much. At this time, we have our Edison School presentation. And we're ready.
They've been patient.
Can we do what? Oh, yeah, thank you.
Good evening, Board and Mr. Hart. I am here with my wonderful students and Mrs. Lewis and some other staff supporting. I brag all the time to any of you who will listen about how amazing my students, my families, and my staff are. If you've talked to me, I have literally probably told you that 100 times. I am excited tonight that you actually get to see that in action, and I will let them start doing the talking.
Do you want this? Okay. I had asked Mrs. Lewis and her lovely students come share with you this evening. I have the pleasure of getting to go to all of the buildings and being in classrooms. And when you approved us to purchase CKLA, I don't remember which one of you asked me, but a lot of times you ask me to come back and tell you how it's going. So I could not think of a better way than to have the students show you what they've learned from CKLA. And in addition to that, Mrs. Lewis did a great job and her students with combining CKLA and some AVID strategies. So this is some slides that they put together and presentation skills. And this went beyond what they learned in CKLA it was just phenomenal, and the students were so confident when they did it, and they had already done their presentations, and when I walked in, they were super excited to redo them. So these three are going to share their presentations. So I wanted you to know the academic reason that they're here tonight. So I cannot wait for you to see these.
Thank you.
Thank you, board, for giving us this opportunity. I'm super excited. I'm Mrs. Lewis, third grade at Edison, and I wanted to share with you what these students blew my mind away with. I gave them a simple slideshow template, very blank. I showed them how to change a background color and how to insert a picture. They did all their own research. We did learn about animal adaptations, so there was some background knowledge that they had, but they did their own Google research, they created their own slides, and they went together as a team in the classroom in different teams and helped each other. So this is the product of that, and they blew me away. So my first up is Tristan Jackson.
My animal was alligator. The description of how it looks, I thought it looked scaly, it looked strong, and it had sharp teeth. Its diet and feeding, it's a carnivore, eats fish, and if they live in the African savanna, they might eat zebra. Their habitat, they live in the swamps, they live in Florida, and they live in rivers. Their babies come out of eggs, their nests are made of mud, and they lay their eggs in the wetlands. Fun facts, they can weigh over 900 pounds, they can grow over 19 feet, and they have the strongest bite of any animal. And these are my pictures.
Well done.
Thank you, Tristan. Next up, we have Abel Reese.
My animal's porcupine. They are warm-blooded. They have a backbone. They're vertebrates. They have spines. They breathe with their mouth. They eat ants and tiny bugs. They eat worms and small bugs. They lay eggs in holes. They hatch in caves. They become porcupines. The porcupine looks like a hedgehog. My pictures.
Nice job. And last I have Nia.
Mine was an alligator. They look like sharp stuff on their back. They look like they have scary eyes. They look like they have sharp teeth. They are dark green skin, and they are cold-blooded. Diet and feeding. They are carnivores. They eat raccoons and crabs, and insects, fish, and so much more. Habitats and babies. They lay eggs. Some of them live in America, and some of them live in Florida. My fun facts. Males grow up to 15 feet long. Most alligators live in Florida, and they are cold-blooded. These are my pictures.
Thank you. Thank you all. And I just want to say I've watched these little ones since they were in first grade when I met them my first year, and to see the progression of being early readers to now doing research and typing on PowerPoints is phenomenal.
Thank you.
I would like to thank Mrs. Shanks. She did a really good job. And kiddos, before you leave, it's not easy to stand up before all the adults here, and we appreciate you so much. You did a really good job.
Fantastic.
That's why we do all this, right? That's why, for students like that. Project Success and Parent Group Informational, Mrs. Truex.
Hi, I'm Kelly Truex, Director of Educational Support Programs. Oh, are you giving them some free stuff? Yeah.
And information.
Yeah. And I'm here to introduce Kimberly David. She is the CEO of Project Success. We've had a great working relationship in the time I've worked with her, and she will be she's got a new grant to talk about that she'll be providing some new services to our schools that I think will be very exciting.
Thank you. Good evening, Board and Mr. Hart. I appreciate you inviting me to come talk about Project Success. I'm just going to briefly talk a little bit about our past year and what we do in the district and then our new program. I've also, we're passing around some information. I have in there our annual report, some flyers for our new program, and just some other things I think you may be interested in. I really want to thank the board, Mr. Hart, Mrs. Truex, and all of the principals of the schools we're in. Everyone is so supportive of us. The district helps us get our kids home. Without the bus transportation, we wouldn't be able to have a lot of our kids in the program, so we appreciate that. Right now with our after-school programs, we're at DHS, Northridge, Southview, and Mead Park, also serving Mark Denman students. We're in the process of writing a new grant to hopefully get programs back at Liberty, Edison, Southwest, and also expand to Northeast. This past school year, we served 441 District 118 students. As most of you know, we're across the county, so across the county we served over 1,500 students. Our outcomes are in your annual report. You can see a lot of our grade outcomes. We do teacher surveys to track school day behaviors, to see if those have improved, homework completion, things like that. And you can also see in there a lot of the different things we do after school with our students. We've also expanded this past year our violence prevention. We're using evidence-based curriculums in all the Danville after-school programs, teaching Too Good for Drugs and other evidence-based programs for violence prevention. We also do a lot of family educational events, fun events, and we can also provide family hardship assistance for the kids that are in our programs. And we invite you to come to any of our events too. So our new program we were just awarded is a parent mentor program through the Parent Engagement Institute. So we'll be at Mead Park and Southview. We're currently looking for parent mentors. We have a parent mentor organizer and then coordinators in each of those schools. So we need 6 parent mentors per school. There's flyers in your packets. So if anyone knows of any parents that would be interested in being mentors, they do get a stipend each semester, $1,500 for completing their hours. They also get weekly training. So a lot of parent mentors across the state go on to be paraprofessionals or school day teachers too, and they have a program the Institute does to help guide them through that if they're interested. So we're really hoping that this is going to support the district in many ways, and we just appreciate all of your support. Do you have any questions for me? All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh.
Moving on to item number 9. Thank you, Project Success, and all that you do. It's very much appreciated. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adopt a resolution to dismiss Narcissus Rankin from her position as Director of Business effective immediately.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Thank you. Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Dr. Holland?
Yes.
Mrs. Town?
Yes.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mr. Warfield?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Secondly, we have a motion to adopt a notice of charges and bill of particulars authorizing the dismissal of Narcissus Rankin as a tenured teacher in the school district. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Having a first and a second then, any discussion? Roll call vote.
Mr. Warfield?
Yes.
Mrs. Town?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Dr. Holland?
Yes.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. And finally, a motion to place Mrs. Narcissus Rankin on unpaid administrative leave pending her dismissal as a tenured teacher.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Thank you. We have a first and a second, and roll call vote.
Ms. May?
Yes.
Mrs. Gordon?
Yes.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Mr. Warfield?
Yes.
Ms. Town? Yes. Dr. Harlan?
Yes.
Mrs. Harlan?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Thank you. On to building and grounds. And we have Mr. Tyler Weidenberger coming before the board. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Hart, Board of Education, Tyler Weidenberger, Director of Buildings and Grounds. I'm here to recommend the 25-28 custodial collective bargaining agreement with the International Union of Operator Engineers 399. They already passed it on their end. I suggest we came to agreement, and I think it's fair, so.
I can entertain a motion for approval of the custodial collective bargaining agreement with International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 399.
So. Second.
Thank you.
I just have one question, Ms. Holleran.
Yes, sir.
Just because I'm a union member myself, I think I already know the answer, but I'd like you to let the public know what the vote was, if you're able to.
I do. Kim.
Are you fine
I
with
can
me?
tell you what
My
was
understanding
told.
was the vote that we were told was 26 to 25.
Yes.
Mhm.
I already knew the answer, but I just
I know it
wanted.
was by one, I just didn't know that.
Yeah.
You didn't know the exact number, correct?
Yeah. I just think it's important for people to know the vote total. Thank you.
I will entertain a motion for approval of this collective bargaining agreement.
We did.
Oh, we did? We have
Yeah.
a second? Oh,
Yeah.
and we had discussion. Oh, now we'll have a roll call vote.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Dr. Harlan?
Yes.
Mrs. Gordon?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Town?
Yes.
Mr. Warfield?
Yes.
Mrs. Harlan?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Thank you, sir, for your work. First quarter data showcase. Do-do-do, all the principals.
Come on, guys.
Get him, Mrs. Parker.
They're like, oh, it's our turn.
Yes, thank you. It's not very often that we get to see all of our building principals standing in a row before us. You can see how excited they are.
Yeah. If you want to use it.
I for one like seeing them all.
Yes.
Can we get like a picture? Because this is great.
Good evening, Board. Mr. Hart, I'm Markeisha Parker, Associate Superintendent. I am very excited to stand before you tonight with my fellow colleagues, and I'll let them introduce themselves once they come up to the microphone, but we're going to start with our mission, which you heard earlier this evening. It's to ensure all District 118 students reach their fullest potential. Our vision for District 118 is to equip every student with the knowledge, skills, and support needed to succeed in college, career, and life through personalized learning, targeted support, and whole child development. Our theme for this year is Ready for College, Ready for Careers, Ready for Life. And then I'm going to go over our district goals, and here shortly you will hear each building's goals and how they tie into our district goals. So our SMART goal number 1 is state assessments, and that is to increase the number of students that meet or exceed on state assessments by 10%. Goal number 2 is attendance, and we want to decrease chronic absenteeism to 25% or less. And our goal number 3 is a social emotional learning goal, and it's to utilize the multi-tier system of supports to provide appropriate interventions to improve building culture and student interaction, as evidenced by a reduction in suspensions and expulsions by 15%. So that is what is driving our work here at the district level. So I am going to share with you our district, some brief district level data. And I'm going to start with some FastBridge data. And so we use FastBridge as a benchmark assessment here in the district. And so just to give you a few numbers, this data is based on 3rd through 8th grade. And so we have 21.4% in A reading at or above the 60th percentile. And we have 18.53% at or above the 60th percentile in math. And just to give you some ideas of how we're targeting those through our adult practices, as a district, we are providing administrators with training for core curriculum, for training with our core curriculum so that we can ensure that it is implemented with fidelity. It's implemented the way it is intended to be taught or to be used with the students. Moving on to discipline. So let's go down to the next one. So our discipline, this is the entire district. So total number of suspension days so far this year are 558 days total. And then number of students that have been suspended in the district are 176. And so just to give you one of our adult practices that we're using to target, to support in decreasing our district discipline, we're providing professional development using supports like PBIS, BIST, and we have worked with Jimmy Casas, who's helping with improving our district culture, and as well as behavior interventions. And last but not least is absenteeism. So our chronic absenteeism at this point in the year is at 19%. And so to be chronically absent, it is 10% or more of your days of attendance. I'm looking at my IL team back there because this is a collaborative process. So looking at my team. So we're at 19%. At risk, which is like between 5 and 9%, we are at 22%. And then satisfactory, 59% of our students they're in the window of 0 to 4%. And so an adult practice that we do to try to improve our attendance, we haven't this year, but I'm sure we'll talk about it a little more as the year progresses. We've done some district-wide attendance incentives. Buildings have done building-level attendance incentives to promote the importance of being in school so that you are here and ready to learn. And one more slide. The district also has a WIG, and WIG stands for Wildly Important Goal. And so as a district team, our goal is to improve teaching and learning. And so we do that as a district team by providing training and support to our building leaders so that they can go back to their buildings and be the instructional leaders that they need to be to support student learning performance and to support their adults at the building as well. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Bretz, and he'll talk about Danville High School.
All right. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Hart, Board of Education. I'm Jacob Bretz, principal of Danville High School. We have 3 school improvement goals, one around freshmen on track, one around graduation rate, and one around attendance. Entering this school, so we ended last school year with a freshman on track rate of 79.8%. That is up from 61.7% 2 years ago. A freshman on track is defined that as true freshmen end the year having earned 10 or more total credits and only having failed 1 or fewer semesters in the core subjects of math, science, social studies, and English. Currently, our English, true freshman English pass rate is 95.15%. Well, I should probably do all the goals first, huh? Graduation rate, our goal is to reach 80%. Actually, that's wrong. It should be 83%. We ended last year at 78.8%, so that's why we bumped the goal up to 83% as well, as it's 83% for freshmen on track. That graduation rate is up from 66.7% 2 years ago. Our attendance goal is that 75% of our students will meet the expectation of being present 90% or more of school days. If you miss more than 10% of the school year, you are considered chronically absent by the state. Now, back to freshmen on track. Our English pass rate currently for true freshmen is 95.15%. Math is 93%. world history is 87.99%. I do not have science. It's a little hard to tabulate because we made a scope and sequence change on the curriculum where all it's very much mixed with freshmen and sophomores right now. So I could get it for you with some work, but I would have to literally hand tabulate it. I could do that if you wish, probably with the help of Mr. Ryapel. Our main adult practice around freshman on track is our flex program, which we began implementing last year, which we target about 100 at-risk rising ninth graders coming out of Northridge the last 2 years. They're scheduled into a flex support class where first adult behavior, they meet with their home-based teacher every Monday where they fill out their weekly grades, their attendance for the prior week, set goals, and then their teacher works with them to schedule out where they will be going 7th hour every day for support within the core. We use a flexible scheduling program so students could actually visit a different teacher Tuesday through Friday if they wanted every week for support. Then during Tuesday through Friday, the other adult practice of the flex teachers is they will support students with missing assignments, reteaching, and facilitating missing summative assessments and summative assessment retakes. Our goal around graduation rate, our adult practices is our departments meet after every common assessment by common course team and review their data, and then they plan out support and reteaching for the students who need reteaching and reassessment. We also identified a big gap, just that students were leaving too many missing assessments. They just weren't making them up. And so once a month, our departments meet and look over which students have a missing summative assessment, because those go into a category in the grade book which are 75% of the grade, so you really can't afford a zero. And then they make sure that those assessments or major projects are turned in, and they do that once every month. Our chronic absenteeism goal, right now we have 76% students on track. We are 15% at risk and 9% chronically absent. Our adult practices on that is we're a little slow out of the gate, but it will be going out this week in the weekly announcements, an attendance incentive plan. Students have attendance incentives they can earn on every 3-week cycle. By meeting certain criteria, they can earn a pair of Beats headphones, actually. And students who meet the quarterly goal for the entire quarter will go into a drawing for the chance to win a smart TV. And so then we will also continue mapping those out for the 3rd and 4th quarter. Also, our home liaisons meet bi-weekly to review chronic absenteeism data and discuss students of concern, plan support, and communicate to the parents and review student progress of the students discussed at the meeting prior. There's a couple other things on so discipline. Currently, Danville High School has a total of 141 suspension days. That is made up by 55% total students. To give you a little bit of context to that, those 55 students make up 4.3% of the student body. And this is operating under we know that not every student is enrolled on day one, but we've had 40 pupil days in quarter one. So if you multiply that by the total number of students, that actually makes up 50,040 days. So if you take 141 total suspension days divided by the total days, that is 0.28% of total pupil days where a student was suspended. Our adult practices on that is our SEL team meets bi-weekly to review discipline data, discuss students of concern, plan support, and parent communication. We review 5 major offenses, which are fighting, threatening, intimidating acts, verbal aggression, insubordination, and disruption. We began with 44 students on check-in, check-out. They look at that on a 6-week cycle. That's research-based for interventions. After the first 6 weeks, we've had 13 of those students still needing to continue with check-in, check-out. 26 of those students were able to come off of check-in, check-out. And 9 students from the original 44 have been placed into small group social emotional learning weekly intervention groups. Last adult practice around that, our staff write a PBS voucher every Friday to recognize students who are being following our 3 core values of PBIS, safe, respectful, and responsible, and then students get to redeem those vouchers for prizes every Wednesday at lunch. Thank you.
Good evening, Board of Education. Mr. Hart, I am Mitzi Campbell, Principal of Kennedy Bailey Academy. I appreciate how thorough Mr. Bretz was, but I am going to keep mine a little bit more short and sweet than that. As instructed, you will not see a data sheet from KDBA simply because we are considered a service school. Therefore, all of our data is filtered back to Danville High School, Northridge Middle School, and now Southview Upper Elementary School. We hope that all of our practices, however, do support them and their goals. I will briefly go over our 4 school improvement plan goals. I'm going to go ahead and combine goals 1 and 2 simply because they are both focused on academics. Goal 1 and 2 state that students at KDBA in the middle school programming, 60% will increase their FastBridge reading scores and math scores from September testing to our end of the year testing. Some of the adult practices that we have implemented to support that include interventions within the core classes. We have designated an RTI time every single day where small group instruction with certified staff, instructional support staff, and very soon, I believe next week, retired teachers. We have curriculum support plus research-based interventions for some of our biggest strugglers. We use Dreambox Education as well as Reflex Math to support those students. We take our evaluation process very seriously. Some of the administrative goals between Ms. Govern and myself are that we are increasing our walkthrough data this year so that we can provide feedback to our staff to ensure that those academic expectations are being implemented in the classroom. Our school improvement plan goal number 3 is attendance. The overall student attendance for in-person learners at KDBA will be greater than 86% at the middle school level and 80% at the high school level. We came up with those numbers based off last year's data, and it was a strong but attainable goal. I'm happy to say we're currently at 85% for middle school based on Q1 and 80% for high school. So we are there or almost there. We're going to keep going strong with that. We have learned that communication simply is the key to help increase our student attendance. And with that, it's an attendance plan that's communicated to all of our staff members every single day. It involves teachers making those phone calls home interventionists, doing those home visits, talking with students and parents to create attendance plans, administrative conferences, and of course, we do involve truancy as needed. We do have incentive celebrations to support and celebrate our students who are reaching those goals. Our last school improvement plan goal, number 4, which is our WIG, 90% of in-person students at all levels, middle and high school at KDBA, will set and monitor their own academic and attendance goals. We had a very lofty goal for last year. We realized it was too heavy for the students. We do want to teach them the skill of developing and monitoring their own goals. So middle school is focused on the on the academics. They have their own growth sheets. We have scoreboards throughout the building. High school is focused on attendance. That seemed to be a big challenge for us in past years. Same thing, we have scoreboards throughout the building. Oftentimes those are bulletin boards, but they could just be feeding regular data, just on sign-up sheets in the hallway. Let's see here, and of course the individual student data sheets. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, good evening, Mr. Hart, members of the board. I'm Michael Gorley, building principal at Northridge Middle School. And you'll see a trend here forming. Our goals are centered around academics, English goal, ELA goal, a math goal, an attendance goal, and an SEL goal dealing with our student discipline. The first goal with the ELA, English Language Arts, 27% of Northridge students will score at or above the 60th percentile in the FastBridge Spring 26 a reading assessment. So currently, and we'll get to the data here in a minute, I'll show you where our baseline data was a couple weeks ago when we did the baseline scores for that. Some adult practices we've put in place, and these really apply to both the math and the English goal, through our walkthroughs, through our partners with our AVID outside coaches that have come in and conducted walkthroughs with us. We've identified a need to increase some of the rigor of the lesson plans, some of the openings and closings of the lesson plans to shore up and improve the overall instruction across the board, not just in the math and English departments. And so we focused our professional development this year to give them specific instruction in terms of how to improve their lesson plan. So the hope being that if the individual teacher improves their lessons, then the students will learn better and those scores will increase. So the math goal, the second goal is 25% of the students at Northridge will score at or above the 60th percentile in the math spring 2026 assessment. And again, the same adult practice applying for those both core subjects. In regards to goal 3, Northridge students will miss, this is our attendance goal, Northridge students will miss 10% of the school days with or about a valid cause for the 25-26 at a 30% rate. That's the goal we're trying to hit there. Adult practices that we put in place for that. You met one of our home liaisons this evening, Mr. Day, who spoke eloquently to the board. The home liaisons are wonderful in terms of making contacts with parents. They're instructed if they miss 2 days unexcused to make that contact. And so they're making regular contacts with those families and conducting home visits as well for those that continue that trend. So in fact, they spent our Institute Day, instead of being with us at Danville High School, they used that day to reach out to our families in the communities that we were concerned about. So, and then last goal for Northridge is the student discipline goal, our SEL goal. We were trying to reduce the out-of-school suspensions without physical injury by 10%. And again, there's a couple things. One spoke earlier. I think she's left, still here. So Project Success, we've implemented that. That started in October, and the work they're doing with our students after school. We're also partnering with Stan Hoskins and his group. It Takes a Village. They're continuing their mentoring program with some of our high flyers, our students that we're concerned about. They've started that at Southview and are following them up. And so they're building those relationships with those students that we're concerned about. And then back to the attendance one I forgot I wanted to mention. Through our 5-star electronic pass system, we are utilizing that to track perfect attendance. And students for every week they get certain points that they can then redeem to our PBIS store. So they can get trinkets, they can get snacks. Takis are really popular. And so that we have seen an increase in student attendance if they know they can redeem those on a weekly basis. So we're hoping that helps. And we're also having a fall dance this Friday. So if board members, you want to come out and show the young'uns how to do it, you're welcome to do that. We would appreciate the extra supervision and chaperones. So, but you have to have perfect attendance, no major disciplinary referrals in order to attend that dance. So, thank you.
What time is the dance?
I'm not supervising it, so I don't know the exact start time. 6 to 8:30, I think. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you guys are welcome to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is really little print. Good evening, board. Mr. Hart, I'm Robin Fluno. I'm the principal of Southview Upper Elementary School. And we framed our goals right along the lines of everyone else and the district. Our SMART goals for ELA and math that's a 10% increase over what we did in the fall off our Fast Bridge. And these goals are based off of our students that we currently have now, not the 6th graders that moved up. These are off of our current 5th and 6th graders for ELA and math. So we hope to grow by 10%. Some of our adult practices for both ELA and math are using the curriculum with fidelity. We have increased our walkthroughs as an admin team dramatically. And we also, our teachers for ELA, they are working on building stamina with the students in their writing. Because when you have to write for that test, you write for a long time. You just don't sit down and start writing. So they're increasing their writing by 1 minute per week. And the kids are doing great at it. They're loving it. So I don't know, writing's not my thing, but that's okay too. And for math, we have our instructional TAs. I probably shouldn't have said that, should I? The instructional TAs push in for math rather than pull out. So they move from group to group and help, and they're able to do much more by pushing in versus pulling out kids. So then our third SMART goal is SEL, and this has to has to do with reducing violence in our school. And that's fighting threatening, intimidating acts and physical attacks. And this was by 10%, which we had 230 incidences last year. And so we're going to reduce that by 23 incidences. We all teach Second Step in our building. They do it weekly, both in 5th and 6th grade. We also are making sure that we are all teaching this exact same expectations throughout the building. You have to have consistency or that's where you break down. So it doesn't matter if I'm in the cafeteria or Mrs. Edrington or Miss Hightower, they are hearing the exact same thing. The same thing in the hallway, the same thing in the bathroom. So consistency has a lot to do with it. We also have, when they come back, if they have been in a fight or something, when they come back, they go through a reentry plan with one of my home liaisons. They also then have to do mediation with the person they were in the situation with. If it's something that has been ongoing, then they and their parents sign a behavior contract, and they work with either the behavior interventionist or one of the social workers. So we have some forefront and some aftermath. So, and then as far as attendance goes, my home interventionists are rock stars when it comes to attendance. We would like to maintain our chronic absentee rate at under 25%. They are amazing. Right now, Mr. Bodine took over chronic absenteeism attendance. It's always been my thing, but he loves it. And currently we're doing the World Series of attendance. And it's 5th grade versus 6th grade. And it's on a smart board as soon as you walk into Southview. And they look so forward to those announcements the next day so they can see which grade level is ahead. And there for a while, 6th grade got ahead of 5th grade, and it was, but 5th grade is back. So, but it's wonderful. They also, they do small groups. They get daily attendance reports. They pull small groups. If they see that students are missing several days in a row or there's a pattern, they call the parents. They ask, what's wrong. They help with doctor's appointments, picking up prescriptions. I mean, I have 3 of the best. They are phenomenal. And we do a lot of incentives to get the kids in. Miss Phelps, one of my 6th grade teachers, is here with me tonight, and she said her kids fight over writing the daily percentage of attendance outside on the window because they all post it daily. So it's in everybody's forefront on a daily basis. Okay, I think I have another one. This is our first quarter data. And we had 77 suspension days, and we had 24 students that created that. We had one situation, so that took care of most of that. Our satisfactory attendance, 60%, our chronic absenteeism, 13%, and the at-risk is 27%. I have to say our fall fast bridge benchmark testing was some of the best we've had in the time that I've been there, so I only look for that to go up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I kind of went out of order with my goals. I'll still go through the same ones. But I started with SEL as our top goal. I will say that's the heart and soul of all of our success. Our kids need to know we're there, we love them. Their parents need to know that, and I feel like that has driven a large quantity of the success we've seen across attendance, math, reading, and SEL. Our actual goal is to look at aggressive behavior referrals with little ones not knowing how to communicate, not knowing how to use their words. Sometimes that happens. But with consequences, we also are doing some restoration at the young age, mediating with friends. How are you a friend? Kind of going over those skills. And we're doing that with the parents present, not together, but with them present when the kids are there meeting, just so they kind of hear the same language and they can continue that. We also have regular meetings in our school for students we see that are starting to hit that level of struggle where we're a little concerned. And again, we bring in the parents, we bring in the teachers, and we all kind of facilitate that together. And I feel like that creates that community and that partnership. They don't feel like it's an accusatory or it's a bad thing. We're going to fix this. We're going to learn how to get better. So that would be our SEL goal. Attendance, we are down from 29 to 25 is our goal. So we hit 29 last year. We have improved every year for the last couple years. So I'm hoping that we continue that trend. We are focusing on a very strict multi-tiered system. Tier 1, we're celebrating everyone, the positives, the overall attendance, making sure everyone feels that. Once we get to Tier 2, that at risk, we start to look at what can we do? What do you need? Talk to the parents, talk to the kids, and use the incentives too. And then we have Tier 3 plans where we talk to individual students. And again, it's case by case. We don't have really a blanket plan because every situation seems to be different. And we work with the families. And then our family engagement is kind of part of this. We're trying to bring the families in a way that is positive and safe and not asking a lot of them. We want you to come and have fun and see the school and feel like you're part of a community. I will say in our last family council meeting, I had like 9, which for us is a lot. No one had any complaints, which I wanted constructive criticism, but I feel like we're at a level where they feel safe and they feel like if they need something, they can come to me. They don't have to go to Facebook. They don't have to do that. They can come straight to me or their teacher. So I think that speaks highly of our staff and kind of the culture we're building. Math and reading, we have been doing really well the last couple years too. Our goals, we hit both of them last year. So now we're looking at obtaining a 35%, 60% or above on FastBridge for that, and then 29% of our students meeting the 60th percentile or above in reading. We're on trend about where we were last year to hit those goals, and we look to see that continue. Part of what we're doing to get to that point is I decided I have a really strong staff who does really great things, and I came in not from an elementary background, so I wanted to figure out how could I help them get better because they're already amazing. So we made individual walkthroughs for each teacher. I had help with Mrs. Bunton in the curriculum office, and I just looked at what are their goals? How do they want to become excellent? And then we focus on those. So each walkthrough, they have their own form, and I use their form with them, and then they get their own personal feedback so that we can get them where they want to be because they're already amazing. We departmentalized 3rd and 4th grade. That's not new. We did it my first year there. Southview departmentalized when I was there, meaning they're not with one teacher. They split for ELA and math. It's been phenomenal. The teachers love it. It allows them to have a focus. The kids need kind of that break and that switch in the day. So they have team teachers starting in 3rd and 4th grade. And I have not seen any negatives, and I really think that helps in our overall goal. And then our last kind of piece that we've continuously done since I got there is that focus on data and MTSS. What are the kids doing? And we look at it from, again, a Tier 1. We want to hit this number, 60 percentile school-wide, but then we have regular meetings with the entire MTSS team. We bring parents in for problem solving, and we look at every individual student that we can get to. If we see them starting to hit that struggle line, we don't wait. We bring them in, we talk to the parents, we ask what they need, and we kind of work with them. And again, it's hard to put this into words because I don't have one blanket thing we do. I just feel like every case we use a different strategy based on what the kids need and the families. So that's what I have. My data right now, one thing I was proud of, we're at 70% satisfactory for attendance. Our chronic absenteeism is 17. That's low. That has us on track to beat our goal from last year. We were at 29 last year. Our goal is 25. But seeing that 70% of our students are there satisfactory we're headed in the right direction. Discipline, again, just like everyone said, that was 1 or 2 instances with some higher need. Our goal was to have the consequences, understand them, but then to come back and restore and figure out how do we fix it. And that's every conversation. And then our FastBridge, like I said, it is on track to meet our goal again, and we're just hoping to have year 3 of breaking our goals and doing great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I followed instructions. I was told just a couple of sentences about our goals and our data, and I followed those instructions. So since mine won't take as long, I'd like to begin with a song. No, I'm just kidding. So, just like Ms. Campbell, I combined my first two goals. They're both academic. So for our, that's not me.
No, it's not.
I gotta hit the button. I gotta do everything right here. Which one? Look at that. Look at that. But I just can't read that far. I'm sorry. I'm so nervous, you guys. It's been a long day. I've been looking forward to this all day. So my first goal is English and language arts, and it is for 25% of our students in first through fourth grade to be at or above the 60th percentile on the FAST Bridge test that we use. For math, and that my baseline data for ELA was 20.7%. So we want to grow about 4.3%. For math, we started at 25% this year, which was our goal last year, I believe, was 27%. We rose 7%, so we almost met that goal. So we started this year at 25%. We would like to increase 5%. So with 30% of our students in first through four, being at or above the 60th percentile in FAST Bridge. So for some action steps that we're taking, just a stronger emphasis on tiered and small group instruction using research-based interventions and reinforcement in the core as needed. We're gonna target that with more target walkthroughs that are based around that small group instruction. So I know you heard the buzzword 1,000 times tonight, just making sure that everything is done with fidelity. It's not a magic potion. When you follow the curriculum and you do the steps and you implement it how it's supposed to be, things work out. So we just want to get everyone on the same accord. We also have a WIG at Liberty, and we're using the 4 disciplines for education, of execution for educators. Those 4 steps include focusing on our wildly important goal, acting on our lead measures. The lead measures are your action steps, and then you refer back to your lag measures, which is the data. And you focus on the actions that are more likely to get you the results that you desire. Keep a compelling scoreboard. So each teacher is required to have their scoreboard posted, creates buy-in with the kids. We have a school goal. Each classroom has an individual goal, and then each student in each classroom has an individual goal. Our WIG is our first goal for ELA. We need a little bit more strengthening in ELA at Liberty, so we went with ELA for our WIG. And so for example, everyone's WIGs in their classroom may differ, but they're all designed to reach our target goal of raising that. How many students meet or exceed on FAST Bridge. What's on there? My third goal is SEL, and we don't use second step like the rest of the district. We use social thinking, and my resource teacher, Miss Carrie Talbot, runs that. Phenomenal. If you walk into Liberty and you walk into a kindergarten classroom, you guys elaborated and went off, so I'm doing it too. I don't want to be left out. Mm-hmm. So I just have to reiterate that they did not follow directions. Mr. Brett started it. So when you walk into a kindergarten classroom versus a fourth grade classroom, everyone knows that common language. If you come in and ask one of my students what the expected behavior is in the cafeteria versus the unexpected behavior, they will be able to tell you that. Very strong program. The lovely teachers, hardworking teachers at Liberty, the staff enforce it. Everyone knows what social thinking is. They know what our lessons are on. And one great thing about social thinking is that it integrates the zones of regulation into that, which if you've ever seen the movie, what is that movie called? With the little feelings, Inside Out. Yeah. So that was a godsend. So because everybody, the kids correlate that to the zones. So like I said, we have a very strong Tier 1 SEL at Liberty, but one thing that just combats behavior, it's not going to change over time, is building those relationships. And my staff are phenomenal at building those relationships. And my last goal, which is our attendance goal. Our attendance goal is to, it's the same as the district goal. We want 25% or fewer. We're really want fewer than 25% of students to be chronically absent this year. When I went to Liberty a couple of years ago, we were in the 50s. I believe it was about 53%. Now, last year we were around 34. Now, right now we're sitting at 24%. We've started the year off very positively as far as attendance goes. We're holding pretty steady in the 90s. Our daily goal is 95%. The children know the goal, and just like Ms. Fluno at Southview, we go over our attendance data every day, and we announced which grade level won. And the students really do look forward to that. That's in our morning announcements. And we meet with students that are chronically absent. We have some that are, I think my highest is about 46%, 46% of the school year that they've missed. So with cases like that, we go on a case-by-case basis because needs are different. We sit down with our parents. We call them in with the representative from the ROE because none of my kids are driving, and I don't believe that they don't have any choice on how they get to school or if they get to school. So we are trying to build that bridge, build those relationships within the school with the students, build those relationships outside of school with the parents, so they know that we are all team education, and we are just trying to get them there so that we can educate them. Okay, I think mine was the shortest. Is it with timing? All right, thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
Good evening. I am Stacy Sollers, and I am the principal at Mark Dimon Elementary School. I don't have much of a voice, so I'm not going to talk a lot, I promise. We do have 4 SMART goals at Mark Dimon Elementary. I'm going to combine ELA and math because both of those goals, we are aiming for 20% of all of our 1st through 4th grade students to score at or above the 60th percentile in their FastBridge testing. We are currently at 19% for both of those, so I anticipate that we'll be doing some adjustments to our school improvement plan and that goal as well. Our social emotional goal is to decrease any behavioral incidences by 15%. We had 1,014 behavioral incidences last school year, so we're looking to decrease that by a little over 100. So we have an attendance goal of decreasing our chronic absenteeism to be 30% or less. We are currently right at 30%, but keep in mind too, we've only had 41 days of school, so that means 4 days absent makes you chronically absent right now. And we've had some pretty serious health issues going around with, flus and different things. So we anticipate that that will be improved. Some of the adult practices that we are doing, we just blanket across the board are fully implementing the MTSS process, which is a tiered approach. So tier 1 for the academic pieces of ELA and math, we are, with tier 1, we are focusing on implementing curriculum with fidelity, and I am doing walkthroughs on that and just checking in with teachers and being more present in the classrooms on a daily basis. Tier 2, in the academic process, we have instructional teaching assistants in our building that they do push-in services into all classes every day during that flex group time, which is kind of like a what I need time where we determine based off of those FastBridge scores and other data that we collect of what interventions they may need. And then tier 3 supports, we utilize retired teachers. We have 5 of them that come into our building on a daily basis, and they pull groups of students that need a little bit more instructional support. So we've been very strategic with that, with having some retired special education teachers, reading recovery teachers, and those sort of resources that we use. So Social emotional, our tiered approach to that. Tier 1, everybody gets the second step curriculum, but also we have been working with Avid this school year on building relational capacity in our building, and also implementing morning meetings and having, sorry, my voice is going, and having our students do more student engagement with communicating with each other, so they are more comfortable with those relationships with teachers, but also with each other. Our tier 2 for that is we have mentor groups that are determined through individual problem-solving teams, PBIS interventions with check-in, check-outs. And then tier 3 goes into the partnership that we have with Gateway Family Services and Crosspoint that comes in and gives the services to our students in the building or outside of the building. And then for attendance, the tiered approach that we have for that, we do attendance incentives. We also, because we had Mr. Bodine, we also have done the World Series of attendance. Looking forward to the March Madness of attendance that our home program interventionists are now implementing for us. And then tier 2, our home interventionists do home visits on a regular weekly basis. And we have mentor groups for those students that are struggling with attendance. And they are just given a little bit more of an incentive to be at school. And then tier 3, we work with the truancy within the county. So we are making some pretty good progress on our goals. We, like I said, are at 20% for both of our, or 19% for both of our academic goals, which are at 20. So we'll be making some adjustments and trying to be a little bit more rigorous with that. We're at 30% for chronic absenteeism, which is our goal for this year. Like I said, I anticipate that falling because the more days we get, the fewer days they miss, hopefully. And then our discipline data, we currently have 8.5 days of suspension days with 7 students that are making that up. So I think that we're on track to also decrease our discipline. So, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Hart, board, Mrs. Parker. My name is Tanner DeLawyer. I'm the principal at Mead Park Elementary. And my colleagues are pretty awesome. I think we could all get us in a room and we just talk about our data all day. And so I'll try to keep this short. I know everyone said that. But Mead Park's SMART goal for ELA is 19% of our 1st through 4th graders be at the 60th percentile or greater at the national level. So I want you guys to remember that it is the national percentile. For math, 22% of our 1st through 4th graders be at the 60th percentile or greater. Number 3 is really near and dear to my heart because if they're not at school, we can't teach them. I have the full confidence in my staff, not only my teachers, but my instructional TAs, my retired teachers. Bless them for coming back to us year after year. My home interventionists, even my secretary. It is a all hands on deck approach for our attendance. And even Mr. Callaway, your bus drivers, I've been blessed to have them for about 3 years now, all the same. They are even in on it too, asking kids, hey, where were you yesterday? We're worried about you. I'm glad to see you. So it really does take a village to help us get there. Our goal for attendance is 28% or less of our students be chronically absent. We are currently at 21%. Kind of a caveat with attendance with elementaries, we fall in a negative here because our mobility is so high. A student that attends 11 school days in a school, that is your student. That is on your data at the end of the year. So if they miss 2 days in those 11 days that are in your building, they're chronically absent for you. Now, there's been cases where they've attended 4 of our elementaries in a school year. All 4 of us are deemed chronically absent in that area. So I want you guys to think about that. And the state has some very strict guidelines on that. So, and with our SMART goal for culture, we have worked with Jimmy Casas, Joy Kelly. We have done book studies for Culturize. I am working with Project Success with the parent mentors. I'm excited about that. I'm already working with Amy Boyer about that. We've been in constant contact, getting some of our parents geared up for that. More buy-in for our stakeholders because without our parents, they are the first line of defense at home. We are all on the same page here. We need support from all around because it really does take everyone. but attendance is the biggest one that sticks out to me. My home interventionist is in charge of that. She is amazing. She's calling parents, she's visiting kids, she's picking them up. We have started attendance tracking by cohorts. This is my 4th year at Mead Park, and I have data back from my 4th graders being in 1st grade on their attendance, who has been chronically absent. We can see trend lines. We're having those conversations with them. Adult practices with our instruction for ELA and math, Tier 2 and Tier 3 research-based interventions. Our curriculum with Fidelity, like everyone else has said, CKLA is going great. Eureka, it is rolling. Our math scores are finally getting going where they need to be. And I have no doubt with CKLA, we're going to get there. So just give it a matter of time with all new things. For my building, I only had 1 grade level pilot at CKLA. Now I have the whole building. We're going to get there. So first quarter data, we have 12% of our ELA 1st through 4th graders at the 60th percentile nationally, and we have 17% math. It's going to grow. We're going to get there. I have no doubt. I have faith in my teachers. I have faith in my instructional coaches or instructional TAs. Discipline. We've only had 2 students suspended, with a total of 3 days. Chronically absent, we're at 21%. 60% of our students are satisfactory. 19 are at risk with 4% up to 9%. Mind you, that 21%, there are some kids who've only been in school for about 12, 13 days, and they're absent if they miss 2 days. And like Mrs. Soller said, we've had some illness. We've had some hand, foot, and mouth. We've had about every crazy situation that you can think of, and our kids show up when they're healthy. We don't want sick kids coming to school, but when they're healthy, they're going to be there. So I could go on and on. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Okay? Thank you.
Good evening, board. Mr. Hart, my name is Mr. Lockhart, and I'm the principal at Northeast Elementary School. And we have 2 goals here. 42% of our 1st through 6th grade students at Northeast will score at the 60th percentile or above. Last year we were at 35%, so we want to increase that 7%. And our adult practices for that, we're focused on instruction and being a champion for all students where we can all grow and improve together. We're basically focused on 2 main adult practices, one peer-to-peer observations, and the other one is professional development centered on instructional modeling. And our goal is to create opportunities for teachers to learn from each other while ensuring they have everything they need to succeed. And we're looking a lot in time management, so it's always a critical factor in teaching. We're intentional about focusing on the most important work that makes the biggest impact. So we will get into data. The A reading score there, we're at 43%. So we are already above our goal there, but obviously want to continue with that. So, and then reading, we're at 51%. So we're going to continue to improve there. Discipline had 1 student there, and then chronic absenteeism is at 6%, and we have 84% satisfactory, and it is our goal in the near future to be an exemplary school. That's what we would like to be. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, board. Mr. Hart. The shortest is last. But believe it, when I started in education, I was as tall as Tyler. I'm just saying. Okay, all right. Okay, so we also at Southwest, by the way, I'm Charles Prophet, principal at Southwest Elementary School. We also have 4 improvement goals. First being ELA, where we want to increase the number of 1st grade through 4th grade students scoring at the 60th percentile from 15% to 25% by the end of this year. We have a SMART goal number 2 is in math to also increase the number of 1st grade through 4th grade students from 33% to 45%. And our goal number 3 is our SEL goal, and that is to reduce the number of office referrals by 10%. Last year we had 261, so we have our magic number that we are monitoring for this year on that as well. Our goal number 4 is under attendance, with our chronic absenteeism being reduced from 29.4 to 25% or less. So those are our main goals. So our adult practices that we are focusing on, I'll go ahead and move over so we can look at the data and talk about that. Our first quarter data in ELA was we had 19% of our students at or above the 60th percentile. We are still learning our students at Southwest. We had many new students this year from the students that were brought from Mark Denman over to Southwest. So we're still learning each other and building those relationships. So we actually, with the help of Miss Button, who came out and worked with our unit leaders and myself, we redesigned our master schedule so that our focus is on a full implementation of the core, utilizing everything in our power. We're also redesigning our PLCs for this year, where instead of working on all 4 goals all at the same time, we're actually focusing 1 week is going to be on ELA, 1 week is math, 1 week SEL, 1 week attendance, so that we can actually dive deeper into those and help to influence some of the research-based strategies that we're using within our core. Our math first quarter data was 20% at or above the 60th percentile. Here, again, we're focusing on that redesign of the PLCs. I have both a wonderful ELA and math coach that are going out and working with our teachers throughout the building. They are doing a fabulous job. We are going to be utilizing a new document that our curriculum department provided to us so that we can monitor the EQUIP assessment at the end of each unit, so that we can just ensure that the students are meeting the standards and are getting that full core. Under Goal 3, our current data for Goal 3 and our SEL goal is we have 64 office referrals for the year so far, and that is actually going down from where we started at the beginning. And again, that is part of the new students learning us and making new friends, and some of the old students doing the same thing. It's been quite different at Southwest. We are every inch covered with little bodies, and it's exciting, it's challenging, but it's different, and we are working through that together. We are starting our small groups with our counselor for our SEL for Tier 2 students. Our Tier 3 students will go to our social worker, who's already working with her small groups as well. And we are focusing, I have a wonderful PBIS coach and a wonderful PBIS team. They work so well together with our social workers. So we don't have a lot of standalone things working in the building. Everybody works together. So we're focusing more on showing rewards to the students that are having good, positive behavior, and not letting ourselves focus on the bad or the opposite behavior. So moving into Goal 4, our chronic absenteeism. Again, my PBIS coach is also my home liaison, and every day she is on the attendance. And so currently we have 28% chronic absenteeism, 37% at risk, 35% is satisfactory, but we know, as you've heard, based on the number of days, that number sounds quite high, but it's 4 days. So, we appreciate all the work she's doing. Our adult practices, we are starting attendance groups for our Tier 3 students. And again, as I said, we're recognizing approved attendance as well as the perfect attendance within our school, because that way we're actually rewarding and focusing on all of our students. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, principals. That really represented a whole lot of work, which I know you do every day, keeping data so that we can see where we are. So thank you for that effort. Mr. Bases, you're up.
Okay, good evening, board. Mr. Hart, Mark Bases, Director of District Athletics. I'm here before you tonight as part of the extracurricular committee, one of the co-chairs, and I'm excited to present these new 11 opportunities for our kids throughout the district to be a part of as far as extracurricular clubs and activities. As I've come before you every year about this time, those of you who have been here before have heard this before, but extracurriculars are a huge part of the district to help with the mission statement here behind me to have the students reach their fullest potential. There are 492 positions, extracurricular positions throughout the district, and our goal as the committee is to kind of revamp those and get those more in line with what kids need, not some of the things that have been in the past that are a little bit outdated. So last year, at the end of last year, there were 38 positions that were unfilled throughout the district, and we look at that every year to see why those are unfilled and what we could replace those with. So as I'm here before you, these 11, yes, they're going to cost some money, but that money has already been budgeted for the year. And again, last year 38 were unfilled. This year, currently, there's a huge list of unfilled, but that's because a lot of them haven't started yet, and staff members will apply and fill those positions. So we'll have another accurate number at the end of next year. So I'm excited to present these to you. And I apologize for the 9 to 11. I caught that I left 2 out. Thankfully, I caught that I left 2 out, but I apologize for leaving 2 out. And those were at KDBA. And if you need me to go through them, I will. But if you have any questions, we can go from there. What would you prefer?
Questions?
What were the 2 that were left out? I think I
Uh, 2 that were left out, I'm sorry, were yearbook at KDBA and Envire Education or Envire Ed at KDBA.
Okay, they're on here.
There,
So
yeah,
I got
they're
that.
on here.
Tech department.
I snuck them in at the last minute. Again, apologize.
We got 'em.
Okay.
So this is up for motion and roll call vote, correct? So I'll entertain a motion at this time for approval of 11 new extracurricular clubs and activities for 25-26 school year.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion, questions?
What does GSA stand for at Northridge?
Yeah, that's the Gay Straight Alliance.
It's good to see Northridge having a drum line. I think that's really great. The more we can get at Northridge, the better I think everything will be for the students to have a reason to come to school. I know
Drum
I
lines
came
are
to
exciting,
school.
I'm telling you.
What's that?
Drum lines are exciting.
Yeah, they
When the high
are.
school drum line gets going, it's a party.
Yeah, drumline is I'm excited, especially because I know at the high school level they'll really be able to do a lot with it if they have that base. So I'm happy to see that.
Anyone else? The roll call vote, Ms. Robinson.
Mrs. Gordon? Yes. Mrs. Sam?
Yes.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Mr. Warfield?
Yes.
Dr. Holler? Yes. Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Holler?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Thank you for your work.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Human Resources, Mrs. Paps.
Yeah, this is quick. We're gonna be quick. Okay, good evening, board. Mr. Hart, Mrs. Parker, I'm Kim Paps, Director of Human Resources. Tonight I have for you 3 separate recommendations. The first one is a job description, which I brought towards to each of you at the last board meeting. This is for the supervisor of operations. I just want to reiterate before we vote that this is not a new position. We simply revamped and adjusted what was on the job description. At this time, I have a recommendation to all of you for the supervisor of operations newly revamped job description.
I'll entertain a motion for the supervisor of operations job description.
So be it.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? Concerns? Roll call vote, Ms. Robinson.
Mrs. Downs?
Yes.
Ms. Thames?
Yes.
Dr. Holland?
Yes.
Mr. Warfield?
Yes.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Mrs. Corbett?
Yes.
And Mrs. Howard?
Yes, and motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Moving on.
Okay, the next MOA, memorandum of agreement that I have is with the district and the DEA. And this is for, it's not so much a position, it is a salary advancement that somebody who has the qualifications to interpret in an IEP meeting, will receive a stipend for the year of $1,000. It goes with the rest of our stipends that we have, or advancements, I should call them, and the contract at 12.8. And I just want to explain real quick about this this advancement. So ISB, the Illinois State Board of Education, is highly recommending that school districts like ours have somebody that can help interpret during an IEP meeting. Right now, we do have somebody that took it upon themselves to take the courses through the University of Illinois, which is where the only place that has the courses that ISB is actually honoring right now. They went out, did this on their own. They will then renew them, hopefully, fingers crossed, every 2 years. So what we want to do as a district is then give them an advancement of $1,000 to come and do these meetings. They could be outside of school hours. They could be during school hours. And right now, we have somebody that has this certification, I guess you can call it, with Spanish. That will, right now, last year we had 15 students that had IEPs that we needed a translator for. We would have somebody come in and just do this. Well, now we have somebody that's trained to do this, and we want to compensate them for that and anyone else that we may need from. We do have a family, Vietnamese family, that we use a company to help us with to translate right now. They just came in from Champaign, or moved here from Champaign. But otherwise, we will meet the majority of our needs with this one person who is able to translate in Spanish. And again, this does align with 12.8 in our contract, and it is with the DEA and with us. And that's my recommendation, our recommendation for this evening.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion for approval of this MOA between District 118 and DEA under the 12.8 salary schedule advancement for qualified interpreter.
Motion.
Second.
Questions? Roll call vote.
Dr. Holland?
Yes.
Mrs. Towns?
Yes.
Ms. Thames?
Yes.
Mr. Warfield?
Yes.
Mrs. Corbett?
Yes.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Mrs. Howard?
Yes, motion carries 7-0.
Thank
Finally,
you.
the psychologist and social worker
Okay.
intern salary.
This too is a recommendation I have this evening for you, as well as Miss Molly Bailey, who did most of the digging, so thank you, Molly. Right now, we have not changed the intern pay for social workers or psychologists since 2016, 2017. We are behind many of our competitive school districts. By raising and increasing this pay, it would be school psychologist interns from $22,500 to $25,000, social worker interns from $18,500 to $22,000. It does keep us more in that marketable range. We will not be the highest. There are some schools that are paying $50,000 for interns. So we are not the highest, but it does put us close to some of our very competitive school districts that we are in competition with, I guess you could say, that we want the people over them, right? So this would help us. I would highly recommend this. The same as Miss Bailey, we would like to ask for more, but we understand where we stand right now. I do believe that $25,000 is great for an internship, $22,000 for social workers. And our goal for this is so that we can get people in the buildings instead of having the virtual services, which we are grateful that you all approved, but that's not what we want. It's just all that we have right now. So that is our recommendation that we are begging for.
I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. And I'd like to say that one of the other goals is that when these interns come and see what a
We
great
keep
district
them.
we have, that we keep them.
We
And
do have
hard to fill positions.
a lot of our interns do stay. at least for a few years, before they move off for getting married or going back home. But a lot of times, more than not, I would say, Miss Bailey, the interns usually stick around with us.
And
And
that's great.
we've had some really good interns too. Very
That's
good.
great.
So-
Any other?
A question I have, 2016 consumer price indexes went up a lot more than you raised it, so you anticipate raising it again next year?
We certainly would not come back for more if
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
what.
it doesn't seem like you raised it high enough to compete with inflation, so I would just,
Tell us
you
to
know,
look back at it. We definitely could
it's
do
just
that.
something I think we should keep in mind that it probably should be higher than this, in my opinion.
Well, we could work on that always, couldn't we, Miss Bailey?
It's just my opinion.
Oh, we value that. Thank you, Mr. Easton. It would not hurt us, we can tell you that. Molly would love to go to job fairs and say, we're paying the most. It's getting competitive, isn't it? She'll wear the sign.
Well, you mentioned that virtual services, I think I loathe. So if this is a real human being,
It's
they're
much
worth
better.
more than 25,000 in my opinion.
Wow.
He's as an intern.
We may come back then.
I think I hear that you should come back.
I think I hear that too. Okay. You'll see us
Anybody
again.
else? Roll call vote.
Mr. Warfield?
Yes.
Mrs. Sam?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Dr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Mrs. Holland?
Yes, motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. We'll be back.
Good work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Technology. Ms. Annette Hummel, thank you. Talking about E-rate.
That's right. Good evening, Board, Mr. Hart, Ms. Parker, Annette Hummel, Director of Technology. Yes, I'm here tonight for a recommendation to purchase UPSs, which are Universal Power Supplies. What these are kind of like little mini generators, you might say. They power our equipment throughout the district. We have E-rate money available that if we don't use it now, we lose it. And that is for $175,480.37. So all of this purchase, so what we do with the E-rate money is that we go out to bid and then we get those bids back. And Presidio was the one that came back with that low bid. And so this is the money, so the cost will be through E-rate and not any district money.
We like that.
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the E-rate.
we approve.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? Roll call vote.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Mr. Warfield?
Yes.
Mrs. Sam?
Yes.
Dr. Howard? Mrs. Holland?
Yes, motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Informational items, Superintendent Hart.
I just have one quick comment. I just wanted to thank everybody that spoke tonight. I feel like everybody spoke from the heart. They spoke with passion, and most importantly, they spoke about children. So again, it's nice to hear that we're all on the same page, moving in the same direction, and we plan to keep you informed as we go forward with the data and what our schools are doing. So thank you.
Board comments. Ms. Payne, would you like to start?
Okay, we lost two former staff members of District 118. I attended two funeral services, one for Jeannie Filetsky and the other one for Frank Williams. I just need, use their family in prayer. I attended last Saturday a fundraiser for the Danville Men's Rescue Shelter, and in 2 hours' time, we were able to raise $5,000. Plus, the concert was phenomenal. And I want to compliment the students for medicine and their books. That was quite unique. I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you. Mr. Warfield.
I want to second that. Want to compliment the students from Edison for coming up and doing the presentation here. That's a big thing to step in front of this crowd and be able to do that. So special thanks to Tristan, Abel, and Nia for doing a wonderful job. In line with that, I was able to go to Edison School on Friday before fall break to
partake in the Picnic Friday lunch for a little while. Principal Shanks welcomed me there, kind of did a tour around the school, met some, former students I went to school with who are teachers there now, and kind of revisited those relationships as well. But mostly I got time to talk to a lot of the parents who were there, talk to some of the kids, and really you could feel the welcome from all of the teachers, all of the staff there. The parents felt very welcomed and enjoyed spending that time. Even the students who I talked to, who quote unquote don't like school, love their teachers. So they're not necessarily all fans of math, but hey, they're getting it done. So kudos to you for the work that you're doing. You're definitely having a positive effect on them. If we can get them to, like the teachers, like that relationship, they're going to value what you're teaching as well. So keep doing what you're doing.
Interestingly, I made a call to one of our principals today because I'd seen so much on Facebook about what they were doing in the halls and how everything was going. So I called Mrs. Fluno and I said, hey, when can I come in? Anytime. So I'm going to be calling all of you principals. I'm going to make my rounds. And I would love to see all the good, fun, happy, great things that are happening. And I really will enjoy seeing all of that and seeing what you've been talking about and how that's being put into practice. And I wanted to shout out to two of our Danville athletes who are up for Athlete of the Week right now with the News Gazette. One is a football player, which I am not familiar with, but I'm sure he's one of 4 in the area. And then we have Anna Haupt, who is a tennis player who just won her sectional championship at singles and beat a phenomenal player that I've watched over the years. She deserves our vote. If you can go on in News Gazette and vote for our 2 Danville players. And I shout out to the boys. 5 of the 6 of the starting top 6 tennis players are going to state as well. So that's phenomenal. That doesn't happen very often. They'll start tomorrow in the Chicago suburbs. Cheer for them. And then we also have a boys soccer team that I believe is playing in the regional final. Had a crazy win over Centennial, I saw, and some highlights on the news with a couple of our players that looked just super fun, and they were so excited. So school and academics and extracurriculars all go hand in hand, and it's fun to see them succeed in all.
Mr. Easton.
I have many things I want to say, but I see the clock. The only thing I want to point out is, Alan, what you brought up is probably the most concerning thing I can see in the budget for this year. $2.4 million increase in premiums, 28% increase. We're for teachers, that is a lot of money for an increase, and you see that our budget was already at a deficit, so I hope we can work some magic here, but it is on the radar. I know for me, and I know Mr. Hart and Ms. Parker, but that is a very large increase, and I wonder, that's just for 1 year, so we have to start really getting creative, I think. It's just something to point out, not to be an alarmist, but realist. That's all.
Thank you.
I'm firmly convinced that every adult and everyone associated with a school district should think of themselves as an educator. That goes top to bottom, from the bus driver in the morning to the hall monitor at nighttime. And there's no one in my knowledge of the time that I've been here, and that's a long time now, who lived that any better than Frank Williams. Frank Williams, anybody who knew him, he called you to account. He was an educator. He brought up what he thought you ought to be doing, and if you were not doing it, he let you know that in a kind way, in a gentle way, in a gentlemanly way, but he made his point very clear. And I'll just mention that as I've been thinking about his passing, that 2 people who I know, work with, and live with, had their own personal anecdote about how Frank called them on the carpet and made them, in a kind, gentle way, understand that that behavior wasn't quite what he expected from them. So anyway, we mourn his passing, but he was a gentleman, a scholar in every sense of the word, and really, really an asset to the whole of the Danville school community.
Thank you, principals, for all the hard work you guys put in and doing that presentation for us. I know it was long, but it really is good for our community and for us to see where we are with our data and what's going on in our building. So kudos to you. Thank you for doing that. I want to agree with Mr. Easton, our insurance rates. We hear you. We don't know what we're going to do yet, but we hear you. Thank you.
Well, thank you. It's been a long meeting. We appreciate it. We appreciate all of the administrators and the hard work that they've done. Just to add my part of the anecdote that my husband shared, what was first and foremost in Frank's mind were the kids. Were the kids. And I had said to Tom, I know Frank loved me, but he loved my daughter way more. And when I disciplined her one time at the high school, he did not appreciate it. It didn't matter what she did, didn't matter whether she was wrong or right or I was wrong or right, but he let me know clearly that I was to never do that to her again. So I honor him and the model that he set for all of us to raise the bar high. And Jeannie Feliski, what a treasure she was to our district. What a treasure. And she will be very missed, and our condolences to the family. Kudos to the soccer team. What a win last night. That was great, and best of luck to them. This weekend, the Danville High School Theater Department is putting on the play A Monster Calls. It's heavy lifting for a drama group. The theater directors expect a lot out of our kids, and you know what? They're giving it, and they're rising to the occasion. And so please go support these kids on the stage. Thursday night, Friday night, 7:30, Saturday matinee at 2 o'clock. So please do go support them. Our next regular meeting is Wednesday, November the 19th. We will dismiss to closed session with no further action being taken. And again, thank you so very much for coming and for your support.
Thank you.